Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome to my channel. First, I want to go over some things that you're going to need to get started. All right. So let me get my basket here. So some of the things that I have that you need is some lights. You need lights for your plants to grow. That's the first thing. So here I have a couple of lights that I am going to be showing you, and I have my notes so I won't forget what to say. I have a couple of lights that I'm going to be showing you that you can try to get if you want to start your plants indoors, because it's going to help your plants to germinate fast. So one of the lights that I have upstairs, which I just bought, I didn't bring it down here, but it is a LED light that have 150 watts. And the price range anywhere between $40 to $50. Another light that I'm going to show you. So if you have an area in your house where you can hang a light, this one is like a hang. You see there? You can hang it. You can hook it up to something and you can hang it. I forgot the plug. The plug is in there. But this light here is 75 wattage. And I think it was $30 when I purchased it at the time. And it has some red, blue, like 4 light spectrum going on. I like to use this light to start my seedlings because it's not too hot. It's hot enough where my seeds are going to start growing, but it's not too hot where it's going to burn the seeds. Another light that I like to use to start my seed is this one. And this one, what I do like about it, so if you don't have anywhere to hang your stuff, you can always clip this onto the table or anything that you're, where you have your plants, and then you can distribute the little, light thing over the plants easily. It's very flexible for you to be able to use it. And I think this one here, I'm not sure how many wattage it is, because I tried to go back over I bought this about a few years ago, and I went back on Amazon to get details, but it's not letting me to get it. So you can, I'm pretty sure if you type in plant grow lights, you probably should be able to find this. But I think it also range around $30 to $50, which is not bad. And then I have another light upstairs, which I use when I transfer my seedlings. I'm going to show you that one. But that one, mainly I use it for my seedlings because they need extra heat. And that one, the wattage is the highest. It's 600 wattage. Now, you have to be very careful when you're starting your plants. You don't want to use a 600 watts light over your new plants that you're starting, because they're not going to germinate. It's going to burn the seeds. I experienced that the hard way, so I'm trying to save you the headache. So what you want to use any wattage, anywhere from 75, from 60, 50, 60, 75, up to 200 from my experience. But you can experiment and see, because even for my microgreens, I still use these lights. And these lights, I never use the 600 wattage light because it have burned my seeds. Another thing you're going to need is your grow mat. I have a lot of these. I need it. You need it. If you're going to start from indoors, excuse me, this one, I just took it out of the thing. So you need this here. And all you do is you plug it in and you put your tray on it that already have the seedlings in it. And then you put your light, hook it up, put your light on top of the tray. I'm going to show you in just a minute. So I just wanted to give you those little bits of what you're going to need. And also the next thing that you need a seed starter. This is my favorite seed starter to use, Jiffy. I love using Jiffy seed starter. I don't have a problem with it, but I'm going to show you what I do in order to prevent getting a bunch of bugs coming in your house. So you need that. You're also going to need a little bit of worm casting. Now, I have worm castings from different brands, but this one in particular, I like to use it to start my seeds. And because I'm using it indoors, I'm a little bit leery about using other brands of worm casting, especially in my house. This one, I feel safer. I have asthma. My daughter have asthma. I'm very careful when it comes to our lungs. So you want to pay attention to those things too. Another thing that you will need, my dear, you need some fish manure, some bone meal. If you have bone meal, is good. Usually I use a little bit of, I'll use a little bit of bone meal, but if you have fish manure, fish manure, yeah, fish manure is also good. So you want to kind of, for me personally, I add certain things to my soy, which we are going to get started right now. Let me get started, and as I'm doing it, I'm going to be talking to you why I add those things to my soy when I'm starting my plant. So let's get started. We are going to pour our seed starter mix into a large container. Make sure you get something large enough that you will be able to stir it up. I always use hot boiling water to get rid of any little bugs or gnats that is in the seed starter. Make sure you mix it well so that the heat can go through all of it. So before I forget, these are some trays that you need. I usually get the ones that have the bottom part to it so you can easily water your plants from the bottom instead of watering your seedlings from the top to avoid losing your seeds. So when you water it from the bottom, at least you're keeping moisture, you know, on your plants from the bottom. I am going to be adding some worm casting to the mixture. After it have to cool down first, so after you put the boiling water, make sure your soy is cool before you start to add anything to it. You don't want to mess it up. So I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons. You can use one of your spoons in your kitchen. Just make sure you keep it for your plants. Add 2 tablespoons of worm casting into the mix. You don't want to add too much fertilizer. You want to try to keep it simple as much as possible. And now I am going to add 1 tablespoon of the fish manure. If you have bone meal, it's also okay. You can add 1 tablespoon of bone meal instead of the fish manure. So I usually add those two to when I'm starting my seeds, because I'm starting plants that are heavy feeders. And that is in reference to heavy feeders. They need a lot more minerals and nutrients in order for them to grow properly. So I start them off just with a little bit boost of nutrients. And I try to keep it simple. And don't use store-bought mixtures because they have a lot more other stuff in it, and it will make it harder. If you put too much fertilizer onto your, before starting your seeds, you can sometimes damage the seed, so you don't want to do that. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go ahead, put all of that in there. Not all of it, but, put the soy in there in the little spaces. You want to kind of pack it down a little bit, but you don't want to pack it so much that the seeds, when they start growing, their roots is going to be too... It's not going to have enough space for the roots to start spreading off. So you just want to lightly pack it down so that your seeds, the seedlings, when they start to grow, they will have enough space for the roots to go ahead and spread out. So you want to go ahead and gently do that with your trays. I'm using a large tray because I am planting a lot of seeds. You can use a small tray, and like I said before, you don't have to use all of that seed starter mix. And so the hot boiling water that we used earlier, that we put in there, it actually helped to moisturize the soil before we even started putting that in the trays, because you want to make sure that they are consistently moist so that they can germinate properly. So what I do, I use a bottle of water. I don't like to use faucet water when I'm putting the water on, underneath the bottom tray. I use bottled water. I don't know why I use it. I just been using it. So now we are going to start putting the seeds onto the soil in the trays. So I put like a couple of seeds because I'm going to be transferring these seedlings anyway. So to me, this is the easy part when you start your seedlings. So you just put as many in there. Some of the trays I put, but you don't want it to be on top of each other. You don't want the seeds to be on top of each other. So some of the trays I put about 8, some I put 9, some I put 5, some I put 6. So you just go ahead and put the seeds into all of the trays. Make sure you label them, which is one thing I forgot to tell you. Label them so you can know what is what. Sometimes I get confused because I accidentally mix the label up, but try to label it, especially if you want to know what you're growing and stuff like that. So that's pretty much it. So I'm going to put the seeds in the tray. You can fast forward it from here, and then I'm going to come to the next step. So why I am putting the seeds and stuff in there, I'm just going to give you a list of some heavy feeders plants that need a little bit of boost, that I usually give a little bit of boost when I'm starting my plants. And that's like peppers, tomatoes, you have okra, you have broccoli, you have melons, you have eggplants, cucumbers, squashes, those type of things. I definitely start them off with a little bit of my mixture fertilizer. So all you do is you just lightly put, when you're done putting your seeds on to the tray on the soil, you go ahead and you just take a little bit of the mixture and you gently put the dirt on top of it, and that's it. So this is my setup. I have the lights going on, and then I have my seedlings in the trays already. Then I have a heat mat to help my pepper plants and my tomato plants or whatever seeds I have in there to germinate faster. So this is a very simple setup that you can also do. you know I don't like to water on top of it, because that can call a lot of bugs and whatever junk to come on it. Almost like a little hairy, like it's not mold, but it looks a little hairy. I will show it to you when it comes on my plants. But pretty much that's the setup right there. And they're going to be here at night. I turn the light on. During the daytime, I turn the lights off. So there you have it. Let's get started, people. We can get this done. So pretty much that's it. That's all I do. I am going to, in the next few days, we are going to start seeing some type of germination going on. But the peppers might take a couple of weeks before it start germinating. It might take a week. It might take 2 weeks. It might take 4 weeks. It might take 6 weeks. It depends on the pepper plants. Some of them take longer to germinate and others germinate faster. But thank you guys so much for stopping by. This is what I do. We grow our own food for the last couple of years. We have been doing pretty good right now in the freezer. We still have enough tomatoes, enough vegetables to last us up till probably May or June. And then we're going to be harvesting vegetables. Matter of fact, it's snow. So let's see, is some spinach out there. We have some spinach, we have some kales, we have some cold weather vegetables out there. I haven't been out there in a little bit because it's been so cold, but we have enough food to last us. So if you want to learn how to grow your own food without the usage of any chemicals, stay tuned, because I'm going to be giving as much information as much as possible. But thank you for stopping by, and you have a good day and be safe. These are some of the pictures from my 2022 garden and garden harvest. They have this saying that nothing worth having comes easy, right? So all of us, we are trying to stay healthy, and it's not an easy journey. Some of us, it may be easier than others, but all we have to do is try. Now, it's the same thing with gardening. Every mistake for me is an opportunity for me to learn. And with gardening, there's no mistake. You just keep trying. Even if you think you fail at some point during your garden period, it's okay. You do a little bit of reading, a little bit of research, watch some videos or whatever, and you just start back over. And I promise you, you will keep making improvements every single time. If I can do it, you can do it also. And these are just some of the pictures. So I just want to encourage you to get started. It's fun, it's relaxing, it helps me with my anxiety, and I'm pretty sure some way or another, when you start gardening, it is going to help you. So join me in this journey, 2023 garden season. Let's grow some food. Let's get started. Let's keep trying to remain healthy or stay healthy as best as we can. Like I said again, if I can do it, you can do it. Just start small and you will keep growing. I hope this inspires you to start gardening this year. Even if you start with just a little bit of herbs or like a little bit of spices like basil or rosemary or thyme, something simple. You don't have to go all out your first time, but I believe you can do it. Let's get started.